Hey everybody, welcome back to the Print 3D channel. Today is June 2nd, and that means day 153 of the 3DP 365 project. And on today's episode, we printed out this torqued round vase, so stick around. Hey everybody, welcome back, and thank you for joining me here for day 153 of the 3DP 365 project. As always, down in the description there's a fact section. There's also a MatterHackers affiliate link. If you're in the market for some new filament, just use that MatterHackers affiliate link and you really help out the channel. On today's episode, we printed out this torqued round vase, and the print itself turned out awesome. And we did this a little bit differently. This isn't run in vase mode. I had originally planned on doing a gMaxSize vase mode version of this exact same model, but we had a bit of a print failure, and I have the print right here. And basically what was happening in vase mode, the angle at which, and I don't know if you can see this, and I'll put this as close as I can, and I'll hold it still, but the angle at which that this vase rises up like this was a little bit too much for, I'm sure it was speed that was the real problem. But what was happening was it was causing ripples in these little corners right here, and they were separating. There was just a little bit of separation. I had this similar problem with the previous print too. Because of the angle that the geometry is set at, the printer just can't handle that in vase mode. So I canceled the print, obviously, and it was going to be really big too. I canceled the print, and then I went back to the drawing board in Simplify 3D, and I set the model for 100%, and I put in 3 perimeters and 3 bottom layers, and obviously no infill. And instead of printing it in vase mode, I printed a vase in perimeter mode. And it actually turned out really good. I don't have that same problem on these angles because I believe at this size, it's okay for Simplify 3D, and the printer and my nozzle diameter and the speed we were printing at, because we printed out the original vase mode in 60 millimeters per second, and this was run out at 40 millimeters per second. So I believe with those 2 parameter changes, not using vase mode, adding more perimeters and slowing it down, and going back to 100%, it actually printed out perfectly, and there's not one problem with this print. It actually is a very good print. It almost looks injection molded. If I hadn't 3D printed this myself and I handed it to somebody, they might think this was an injection mold piece because it is very clean. The only problem area is where the layer change happens, and that's always a problem because it creates a little bit of a seam. There is no perfect way to change layers and not leave some sort of artifact behind, in my opinion. So there is a little bit of fuzz right on the ridge on one of the little torque areas of the vase, and you can barely see it. It's not as bad as on some. There's one little area here, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'll have some close-ups in at the end like I always do. But that's the worst for wear in the layer change seam area. The rest of the print looks awesome, and we used MatterHackers PRO PLA in the color of red. This is my new gMax red, or gCreate red. I use 2 different names for it. And it turned out awesome. I am really happy with the results. I really love the shape and the design of this vase. It's very cool. And I really wanted to gMaxSize it, and I might try and find a solution for it in the future. But for now, this print looks awesome. And we downloaded this from Thingiverse, and of course we sent it over to Simplify 3D for slicing. And I told you my parameters for that. We used well, I said, I didn't tell you what the layer height was. We did do a 0.2 millimeter layer height with no top layers, 3 bottom layers, and 3 perimeters. We also ran a brim at 6 outlines just to make sure it stayed down to the print bed and to prime my extruder. And we ran this out at 40 millimeters per second just to make sure that the geometry on the bottom turned out perfectly. And in my opinion, this looks awesome, and I'm super happy with the results. I wish I could have gMaxSized it, but apparently that geometry is a little bit too steep at 225% for my nozzle diameter and the speed I chose, and all the other parameters that were involved in creating a vase mode print. But the print that we did print is awesome, and I'm really happy with the results, and I definitely am glad that I printed it because it's a very cool model. Well, that about wraps it up for day 153 of the 3DP 365 project. I hope you guys found this episode interesting and informative. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share those videos, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.